I am speaking to you now with tenderness that burns like a steady flame in the rain, with a love that refused to let the waters drown you when you thought you'd slip beneath the surface. I have watched every season of your life, the loud ones and the quiet ones, the rooms where you smiled for everyone and the rooms where you closed the curtains and hid your tears from your own reflection. I have seen your patience. I have seen your confusion. I have seen the moments you wondered if I forgot your name, and I hold your name like breath in my lungs. I have never, not for one heartbeat, abandoned you. This message is for you. Do not skip it. Do not let your fear trick you into turning away. I am here. I am speaking. I am not late. I am precisely on time. There is something moving toward your door that thinks it can shake you, a shadow that believes it will own tonight in your house. It thinks it has measured the darkness well enough to walk hidden, but it has never measured my light. It has never measured what happens when I send Michael to stand on your threshold and when Jesus, the one who calls you beloved, whispers your name and places his hand over your heart. I am not calling you to panic, I am calling you to attention. I am not summoning dread, I am summoning courage. There is a difference. Dread looks at the unknown and crumbles. Courage looks at the unknown and remembers who stands beside them. You are not standing alone. Archangel Michael says, "Child of the Most High, be still and listen." He steps into your hallway like a pillar, and the trembling in his sword is not fear but anticipation, because he knows how quickly shadows evaporate when light is declared. He has watched you fight battles that had no audience, and he has counted your losses as seeds that would one day bloom into a harvest of authority and wisdom. Tonight does not catch him by surprise. Tonight does not catch me by surprise. The heavens are not wringing their hands, they are ready. There is an emergency only in the sense that my love is urgent, that I will not tolerate the lies that try to tie knots around your mind any longer. This ends now. This ends tonight. The shock will not be your ruin, it will be your reveal. You have been praying in pieces, whispering small requests because you thought small requests were safer, less disappointing if I didn't answer the way you hoped. But I teach you now to pray as if I am as big as I say I am. Ask for what your heart is terrified to say aloud. Ask for the restoration of your name where others slandered it. Ask for clarity where confusion was sold to you as humility. Ask for the return of joy where shame pitched its tent. Ask for the kind of peace that walks through your rooms and claims every corner. Open your mouth and speak blessing over your home. It doesn't need to be sophisticated. It needs to be honest. Say, Lord, this house is yours. These doors, these windows, these walls, these memories, these plans, this future, yours. Watch what happens when you say it like you believe it. Jesus stands near you with eyes that undo storms. He does not point at your failures, he points at your future. He doesn't weaponize your yesterdays, He heals them. He is not embarrassed by your questions, He answers them by making your life itself a testimony. He took what tried to bury you and turned it into soil. He took what tried to poison you and turned it into medicine for others. He is not merely saving you from, He is saving you to. You are saved to purpose, to clarity, to strength, to influence that heals rather than manipulates, to relationships that honor rather than consume, to work that sings rather than drains. You are saved to stand up in this very hour and say, I will not be dragged by old narratives that were never authored by God. Tonight, when the clock leans toward the hour you usually fear, light a small lamp and let it be your altar. Sit with me. Do not rush. Breathe. Tell me the truth about what scares you. I already know it, but I want to hear you say it, because when you tell the truth in my presence, it loses its power to control you. When you are ready, walk through your room slowly. Touch the door frames and say, peace. Touch the table and say, provision. Touch your bed and say, rest. Touch your heart and say, beloved. You are not performing a ritual to manipulate me, you are agreeing with me. Agreement is where fear goes empty-handed. Agreement is where the night learns it cannot bargain for your destiny. Michael will be stationed where your worry usually lives. He says, the rumor that travels on the wind tonight will not have the last word. The news that knocks will not decide the atmosphere of your home. He is not merely a guard, He is a messenger. He delivers truths you forgot you were allowed to believe, that you are safe to love again, that you are free to dream again, that you are permitted to expect goodness without bracing for heartbreak. He reminds you that your discernment is not suspicion dressed in religious clothing, but clarity baptized in mercy. He instructs you to hold compassion in one hand and boundaries in the other. This is not a contradiction, this is wisdom. Mercy without boundaries becomes enabling. Boundaries without mercy become walls. You, with my Spirit, will be both gentle and immovable. Something shocking will happen in your house tonight, yes, but the shock belongs to darkness when it discovers how little territory it actually owns. The shock belongs to patterns that thought they were permanent. The shock belongs to cycles that thought you were too tired to step out of them. The shock belongs to voices that thought you were still a child in your courage. You will feel something shift, perhaps in your thoughts, perhaps in an unexpected message, perhaps in a conversation that finally reveals motives you suspected but could not name. Do not be afraid of revelation. Revelation is a surgeon's light, not a hunter's spotlight. It is not meant to humiliate you, it is meant to heal you. When truth enters, it does not ask permission from lies. I have been weaving a rescue through ordinary days. A neighbor's hello. A delayed meeting that kept you home. A verse you couldn't stop thinking about. A song that found you at the exact minute your breath stuttered. These were not accidents. They were breadcrumbs leading you through the thicket. You did not get lost because you were foolish. You got lost because the path was overgrown with other people's expectations and old vows you made when you were hurting. Tonight, I cut those vines. Tonight, I lift the branches. Tonight, I show you a clear way through. You will walk it with trembling perhaps, but you will walk it with me. Your house will learn my name again, not as a concept but as a covering. There will be a stillness you have not felt for a long time, and it will not be empty. It will be full. Full of the sound of breathing that is not panicked. Full of the sound of laughter returning cautiously, then confidently. Full of the sound of to-do lists rewritten to match purpose rather than fear. Full of the sound of forgiveness unlocking doors you thought were welded shut. Forgiveness is not permission for the past to repeat itself. Forgiveness is release from being its prisoner. Do not confuse the two. Be wise, set boundaries. But do not chain yourself to bitterness. I have more for you than a museum of hurts. When the memory of betrayal rises like smoke, remember that smoke is proof something burned, not proof something still burns. The fire that tried to destroy you has been put out, now the air is clearing. Open a window if you wish, literally and in your spirit. Let fresh air in. Invite new language in, blessing, honor, patience, laughter, rhythm, rest. Speak these words over your rooms. Speak these words over your mornings when they come. Speak these words over your name. You are not the sum of what left. You are the steward of what remains and the receiver of what arrives. Jesus says, I have prepared a table in the presence of your enemies, but the feast is peace. The meal is wisdom. The drink is joy. I do not feed you revenge. You are learning how to eat without watching the door, how to savor without expecting the plate to be snatched. This is new, and new things can feel suspicious to hearts trained by sorrow, but lean in. You are not being taunted with goodness, you are being taught to dwell in it. Dwell means stay. Dwell means stop running. Dwell means decorate your hope and put your name on the mailbox of your future. You will notice tonight that certain temptations lose their flavor, the temptation to spiral through worst-case scenarios, the temptation to check for disasters before you check for possibilities, the temptation to assume that small delays are punishments. I am not punishing you. I am positioning you. I am not addicted to testing you. I am devoted to teaching you. My tests are not traps, they are trainings. You are not a lab rat, you are a son, you are a daughter, you are family. Family gets taught because family will inherit, and inheritance asks for maturity not as a gate but as a gift. I am growing you into who you already are in me. Michael whispers, close the doors you need to close tonight. He does not mean doors of love or humility, he means doors of access for what has consistently harmed you. Close the channel for the voice that never speaks life. Silence the tab that always opens to comparison. Block the corridor that invites you into collisions with the same old manipulations that left you dizzy. When you close those doors, you are not being cruel, you are being faithful. Faithful to the future I am delivering into your hands. And when you open your door to those who repent and bear fruit, do so with discernment and fresh boundaries, with your eyes clear and your heart warm. This is wisdom, and you will walk in it. Something will ring tonight, a bell, a phone, a memory, and you will think, this is the moment. Pause and breathe me in. You are not obligated to respond from panic. Ask me for words. Ask me if silence is the right answer. Ask me if action is the right answer. I will guide you. I am not subtle when you need clarity, and I am not loud when you need quiet. I will match your moment with what serves your soul. Trust the pace I give you, even if others mock it. You are building for the long term, you are planting an orchard, not chasing a sugar rush. The shock that arrives will expose small fissures or giant fault lines that a lesser love would hide. But I am not lesser. I am perfect love, and perfect love casts out fear not by yelling at it but by filling every room fear used to occupy. If something breaks tonight, it will not be your future, it will be the cage around it. If something ends tonight, it will not be your story, it will be the lie that tried to edit it. If something begins tonight, welcome it with open eyes. Ask it questions. Demand truth from it. Bless it when it aligns with me. Release it when it does not. You are permitted to be decisive. You are allowed to be kind to yourself. I place a calm certainty in your hands right now, you are safe in me. Safety does not mean a life without storms, it means a life where storms cannot claim final say. Safety does not mean every person will choose you, it means rejection will not define you. Safety does not mean your body or bank account will never feel the tremor of a changing world, it means provision will accompany you even in wilderness, and you will learn to recognize streams where maps insist there should only be sand. Tonight, you will taste this safety. It will be quiet and potent, like warm bread in a room that used to be cold. Jesus will touch the places grief has sat too long. He will not rush your healing. He will honor your tears and gather them, not as evidence against you but as evidence of your capacity to love. He will lift the guilt that is not yours to carry. He will answer the accusation that never came from heaven. He will give you a sentence to hold when memories try to seduce you back into self-blame. I am forgiven, I am learning, I am loved. Say it aloud. Say it often. It is not denial, it is alignment. It is not pretending, it is prophesying. You will hear a knocking, not always on wood, sometimes on the door of your mind. Not every knock belongs to a thief. Some knocks belong to opportunity, and I will teach you to tell them apart. Thieves pound or sneak. Opportunity knocks with patience. Thieves flatter or threaten. Opportunity invites and tells the truth. Thieves rush your soul. Opportunity gives you room to breathe. Listen. Discern. Ask me. I am delighted when you ask. I am a father who loves questions because I love your voice. Archangel Michael says, gather the fragments that remain. He means the pieces of your confidence that you left in old conversations, the bits of your creativity you left in a season that paid you in exhaustion, the color you drained from your dreams to survive. Gather them. I will multiply them. I will restore the vibrancy that you thought was childish but was always childlike, and childlike is the currency of my kingdom. Expect your hands to tingle with ideas again. Expect your nights to host insight instead of anxiety. Expect your mornings to call you forward rather than drag you out of bed. This is not hype, this is a new rhythm. If fear stands at the end of your hallway and tries one last time to stare you down, stare back with me beside you. Say, not tonight. Not ever again the same way. You are not negotiating with fear, you are serving it an eviction notice. It has overstayed its lease. The landlord of your soul is love, and love requires peace. When peace establishes residency, chaos visits less and less until it forgets your address. This will happen. It will happen not because you are pretending to be strong but because you are practicing being beloved. Beloved transforms rooms. Prepare something simple tonight, water on the table, a folded blanket by your chair, and let these be sacraments of care rather than trophies of survival. I am teaching you softness that does not surrender strength, gentleness that does not forfeit truth. When you feel my nearness, thank me. When you cannot feel it, say, I trust you. Trust is not a feeling, it is a decision repeated until it becomes a song your life sings even while you sleep. You will sleep differently soon. The watch you keep will be wise, not haunted. You will not rehearse catastrophe under your breath. You will practice gratitude and build a future like a cathedral, brick by brick, blessing by blessing. I bless your threshold. I bless your mailbox. I bless your inbox. I bless your table. I bless your conversations. I bless your quiet. I bless your courage to say no and your tenderness to say yes. I bless your beginnings and your endings. I bless your discernment to know which is which. What comes to frighten you tonight will leave with a lesson, that you are not easy prey, that you are not abandoned, that you are surrounded. Heaven is not far, heaven is near. I am nearer still. This message is for you. Do not skip it. When the first sign of shaking announces itself tonight, remember the deeper stillness beneath it, the way oceans obey the moon, and your heart will learn to obey my peace. Remember how Michael waits at the door, how Jesus sits beside you, how I write your name not in sand that tides erase but in my hands that do not fail. Lift your head. Open your mouth. Bless your house. Welcome truth. Release what is not from me. Hold fast to what is. This is your moment of turning. This is your quiet victory that will echo for years. I am not asking you to be someone else. I am revealing who you have always been with me. I will remain through the night and into the morning, unhurried, unwavering, unashamed to love you loudly enough that fear cannot hear itself think. If tears come, let them. If laughter surprises you, let it. If silence feels holy, honor it. If worship rises, follow it. You are safe to live here, safe to dream here, safe to hope again without apology. Something shocking will happen tonight, yes, darkness will discover that the light in your house is not rented. It is owned. And the deed bears my name and yours together. I am speaking to you now, beloved, not from far away but from the center of your breath, the pulse in your wrist, the quiet place that remembers light even when the world feels dim. I have watched you stretch yourself between hope and heaviness, and I have gathered every tear before it could fall to the ground. I am the one who breathed galaxies and yet counts the threads on your pillow, the hidden thoughts you never say out loud, the sighs you release when no one is looking. I am not late, I am here, I am present, I am the steadiness under your feet. Do not measure my love by the storms that rise, measure it by the peace that keeps returning like a tide that refuses to forget you. Hear me, you are not an accident in time, you are a sentence I wrote on purpose, a sentence that will not end in a comma of confusion but in a period of clarity and blessing. I designed a way through the walls you cannot see past. I have sent my ministering winds ahead of you, and the door that felt welded shut will admit you like a familiar friend opening at your knock. I am not asking you to perform for me, I am inviting you to let me steady your hands and brighten your eyes so you can see the road I have already illuminated. Grace is not a ladder you climb, it is the ground beneath you that holds when everything else trembles. Archangel Michael stands by your threshold even now, a shield of mourning around your night. He says, I am begging you to open this now because the hour has a hinge, and you are standing on it. If you push with your trust, it will turn. He is not sent to frighten you but to fortify you, not to announce doom but to expose what was trying to creep in while you slept. He has watched the whispers that gathered like dust, and he has swept them back into nothing. He is armed with light, and light is surgery without pain. It opens what must be opened and closes what must be closed with perfect precision. You have felt the cold breath of unkind stories telling you that you are behind or beneath or beyond repair. Today those stories are evicted from your house. Jesus, your friend and the keeper of dawn, bends close to your name right now. He presses his peace inside your room so thoroughly that even the corners learn to sing again. He says, I am not far, I am here, and I am with you in the exact place where you think I would be least willing to be. I do not wait for your perfection, I create it over time like a potter who never gives up the clay. He reminds you of the times you thought you wouldn't make it and yet you did, not because you were lucky but because you were loved. He does not hold a ledger against you, he holds you, and the holding heals what no argument ever could. He looks at you, and every false label falls like rust from an old gate. There is a stirring in your atmosphere tonight, not a threat but a revealing. Something shocking will happen in your house, and by shocking, I do not mean harm, I mean the kind of sudden clarity that makes you press your hand to your heart and whisper, "How could I have missed this?" Expect the unexpected kindness, the message in the ordinary, the sound of mercy in a familiar voice, the piece of evidence that confirms you are not forgotten. A visitor may be an idea, a phone call, a memory healed, a face you have not seen in a long time, or a dream that lands like a letter sealed with gold. Do not fear the trembling that comes before light breaks, windows rattle when the dawn knocks. You have been carrying a box inside your chest labeled "later," and inside that box are the small obediences you kept postponing, the apology you rehearsed and never sent, the drawer you didn't open because it held old pain, the simple act of tidying your space to make room for a new chapter. I am putting courage in your lungs to do the small thing because the small thing is the key to the big thing. Doors answer to hinges, and hinges answer to screws, and screws turn when someone chooses to turn them, even a quarter turn at a time. Tonight is a quarter turn night, a set things straight night, a put the chair back under the table night. When you do your part, however simple, watch how swiftly the rest aligns. I speak now to the anxious part of you that listens at the edge of every hour for bad news. Come away from the window of worry, the storm you imagined is melting in the warmth of my nearness. What tried to enter your house was not a person who could overpower you, it was a pattern that believed it could repeat without your permission. The pattern of self-doubt that turns into silence, the pattern of overgiving that curdles into resentment, the pattern of staying because you're afraid to leave and leaving because you're afraid to stay, these do not own you. I am resetting the metronome of your heart to the tempo of trust. Even your pulse will feel different, less sprint, more song. There is a name that has distressed you, a face that has occupied your mind like a tenant without rent. Release them into my courtroom, you are not their judge, and you are not their jailer. Mercy does not mean access, forgiveness can coexist with boundaries like a wall covered in flowers. Tonight you will feel the sacred difference between letting go and giving up. Letting go is placing the thread back into my hands, giving up is dropping it on the floor. I do not drop what you hand me. I weave. You will sleep, and while you sleep I will move in rooms you cannot reach, in hearts that would not listen to you but must listen to me. Archangel Michael lifts his sword, and it glows with the quiet authority of sunrise on water. He is not here to start a fight, he is here to finish one without the noise you dread. He stands at the crossroad of your threshold and says, "No more trespass." Old shame will come to the door and find it locked against itself. Old fear will knock and realize it has no password. Old scarcity will jiggle the handle and discover the hinges blessed shut. New provision will bring its own key, new friends will carry the scent of peace, new opportunities will speak your language without making you shrink to fit them. I know the question you have not asked because you didn't want to sound ungrateful. When will it finally be my turn? Hear me, your turn is not a lottery ball, it is a season, and the season has already shifted. The first sign is not always money or applause. Sometimes the first sign is the way your shoulders lower when you exhale. Sometimes it is a text that arrives at the exact moment you needed confirmation, or a bill reduced without you understanding how. Sometimes it is only this, the taste of sweetness in your tea after weeks when nothing tasted like anything. I am not teasing you with small things, I am teaching you to track the trail of goodness that leads to the door marked with your name.